Alrighty, welcome back, folks. We have another game of Sudoku. Let's see what we have. Ooh, very hard. Test the brain. So, I do recommend, I don't know if you guys saw yesterday's or not, I posted as an impossible, unable to challenge or to complete. That was my attempt at April Fool's humor. Uh, so, here we go. Just kind of taking a look at the symmetry. I like these cool lines. These cool lines are symmetrical that come across like that. I do notice here's some fours through the center and the bottom, only leaves one spot. I noticed a pair of ones through the middle and the bottom, only leaves one spot. Let's see. I don't see any pairs in the top three. That's kind of odd. Kind of odd. That's all right. Let's see here what else we have. I have a 5 that comes across the bottom and a 5 down the left side, so there goes our 5. We have a 5 and a 5 and a 5 and a 5. Those all intersect down here in the bottom left corner with just that one spot left for a 5. Let's see what else we have. Just kind of looking where the pairs go and the lines go. All right, well, let me go ahead and start marking some things because I see some things and I've just been holding off for a moment. This 8 and this 8 here, no down the right, no down the bottom of this one, so I know there's got to be an 8 there. Where did I see the other one? There's a 2 8s here, so I know there has to be an 8 here or here. Okay, the 2 8s that come across here have to be here and here. Okay, so now, folks, this is called a crisscross pattern. Can't have an 8 here, 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 or here because of this ghost row. But also, if I have an 8 in the bottom 2, and over here in this cube, it has to be in the bottom 2. No matter what we do, 8 is taken care of in the middle row, and 8 is taken care of in the bottom row. So this says this cannot be an 8. So that one forces the 8 to be in the upper row. So that is helpful there. I do see a pair of 9s here through the middle. So our 9 has to be like this because of this 9 and this 9. I have a pair of 3s here that go across the top and the middle. So we have a 3 that goes here somewhere. We've got a pair of 3s here that go down the left and the center and then across the top. So there's our only 3. And then we have this 3 and this 3. So we know our 3 has to be somewhere in this middle one. Okay. Got a 3 here through the middle and a 3 through the right. So my 3 has to be one of these two. Okay, I do have a 5 and a 5 going up towards the top. That says it can't be in the left, can't be in the right, and I have a 5 that goes through the middle. So this one has to be a 5, which means this one has to be our 3. 3 on top, 3 in the middle. So over here it has to be in the bottom row. And that matches up here with this one because we already have the middle one. I notice I've got a pair of 4s here. It goes through the middle and the bottom, and then I have a 4 in the left. So in this cube, it's the only place left for a 4. Now these two 4s meet here in the center, and I have a 4 here that comes across the top. So that is the only place for a 4. I've got two 4s here that say no here, and a 4 here. Says no 4 there, so there's the only place left for a 4. Okay. Let's see here. I've got a pair of 1s that say that the 1 has to be here somewhere. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Still kind of just letting the numbers wander here as we're getting a couple of them in. I'm going to have to start taking a little bit more of an organized, systematic approach here in just a moment. I do have okay, I have a 2 that comes across the top here and a 2 in the left, pardon me, the right and the center, which tells me this is the only place left for a 2, which means this one is the only one that's 3, which helps me with this 3. And now I'll clean up my pencil mark there. And now that I have this 3 up here, it tells me this can't be a 3, means this one has to be. Leaves me with this one as our 9. Okay, that is helpful. Okay. All right, so I've got 3 numbers left in this row that can't be anything else because it'll interfere with the rest of the row. So I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a 6, a 7, and a 9. Okay, those have to be across the bottom. Now I can't have a 7 here, so this one could be 6, 7, or 9. This one could be 6, 7, or 9. This one could be 6 and 9, but not the 7. Okay, so if I know that those numbers are correct, then these other 3 have to be the other 3 numbers which are missing, which is a 1, a 5, and an 8. Now the 5, okay, can't go through here anymore, so this one actually has to be our 5, which means this one has to be our 8, which means that one has to be our 1. There we go. Okay. So that helped us put some numbers. This 8 now comes through the middle over here, leaves that as an 8. So that'll tell us what these 2 numbers are, and it will tell us what this number is too. So here we have a 2 and a 6, and we do have a helpful 6 down here. So a 6 and a 2, and then it looks like the other number we're missing is a 7. There we go. Okay, so up here in the top 3 numbers here, we need a 1. 1 and 1 can't be here because of this one. 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 6. Okay, and that looks like it could be anywhere. 7, 8, and then we need a 9, and it looks like that could be anywhere. Boink, boink. Oh. There we go. Okay, so that is cleaning up for us a little bit here. Kind of matches this symmetry. I like that symmetry. Okay, let's look in this cube here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I think we're missing some 6s here. Now I notice I've got a 6 here, so that blocks this one. 5, 9, 1, 3, 8. Okay, we have an 8 that comes down this side and an 8 here, so that makes this one have to be our 8. Okay, so now we only have 2 numbers missing here, and it looks like a 2 and a 7. Anything that can help us there, guys? 2 or 7? I don't see it just yet. Okay. 2 or 7. Okay, I do see this 2 and 7 that go through the center row. That says that these 2 cannot be a 2 and a 7. So this is what I call a double lock. If this has to be a 2, then this would be a 7. If this has to be a 2, then this is a 7. Either way, my 1 can't go there anymore. So there goes my 1, and the only number we're missing here is an 8. So that helps us out here a little bit. And now that we have our 8 there, we can clean up our 8s here. Okay, we're missing 2 numbers here. What are we missing? A 6 and a 9. Do we have any help? See, that matches this though, which is okay. Remember we just talked about that double lock? Anytime you have 2 cells, it doesn't matter if it's a cube, a row, or a column, if they're the same numbers, they double lock. So that means this number is the only number left, which is a 7, which of course it can't go here and it can't go here. But if we didn't know that, if we didn't have these 7s here, just by these being double locked, being the same number, we know that this is the only number that's left. And it looks like those are the 2 same numbers we're missing here, is the 6 and the 9. So we can put those in there. Okay, now going vertically here, we know this has to be a 2 and a 7. See this 2 and a 7 that's missing? Well, we have a helpful 7 right here. So this one ends up being our 2. That one ends up being our 7. That one ends up being our 2. And we're now missing a 6 and a 7. Okay, so let's jot our 7 in there. Okay. Now, the neat thing about this is I'm looking at this middle row. If we look here, this one can't be a 7 because of this one. And then if I look here, this one can't be a 7 because of this one. So it tells me that this is actually the only place that can be a 7. Okay, so that makes this our 6. All right. So you see how this is a two numbers? Is this two numbers? Is this two numbers? And see, so these are all going to cascade once we find one of those out. Okay, because we are just kind of stacking those two numbers. All right, so we've got three numbers that are missing here. We've got a 1. We need a 2. Okay, well, it can't be here in the middle. So 2 has to be out here or out here. 3, 4. We need a 5. Now 5 can't be in the center or the left. So actually, there we go. That has to be our 5, which now leaves this one as our 2. And it looks like the number we're missing is a 7. Now with this 7, only one of these two could be a 7. So that's the only one left. I'm going to clean up my 7. Okay, you can kind of see these are going to cascade because there's only one number left. So this one here in this column, what are we missing? A 9? Nope, no, a 2. A 2, because we got our 6 and our 9 there. So this one has to be our 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so now we can look at these two numbers, because see we have a 9 and we have a 6 right here, so these two are going to split. What do we need? We need a 1, a 6, and a 9. Okay, so this one here is going to be a 1 or a 6 because we have a 9 here, and this one has to be a 1 or a 9 because we have a 6 here. All right, so now we've just got this last cube over here to take a gander at. And let's see what we can come up with. Now we do have a 9 across the top, so we know that the 9 has to be in the middle here or the bottom here. There's our 8. Okay, now cool. So 7 and 7, center and right, and then 7 across the bottom. So the only spot left for our 7 is right here. All right, and then we need a 1. And our 1 cannot be here, so it can be either here or here. And let's see, so we have 9, 8, 7, and then we need our 6. And our 6 can either go here or here. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Okay. All right, folks, so we have this one marked all the way out. Now we have to resolve this carefully to not get ourselves tumbled up. Okay, well, there's not a whole lot of numbers here. So I think this 1 here is going to get entangled here just a smidgen. And see, this is where I get to the point where my brain has a hard time differentiating here. So I'm going to use my pen and my pencil here. I wish I could see the puzzle. Like, okay, let's look at like this number right here. So if this is a 9, that makes this one a 1. That makes this one a 6. See, right there, I forgot what my numbers were already. Let's try that here. Let's do this one as a 1. So if I do that as a 1 on the bottom. Okay, so I have a 1, I have a 6, I have a 9. Okay, so that makes that a 9, makes that a 6, makes that a 9. Okay, and that's a 9 and a 6, so that's a 1, and that's a 6. Okay, okay, so that all works out so far. And then that's going to be a 1, and that has to be a 6, and that has to be a 9, which makes that one a 6, which makes that one a 9, which makes that one a 9 and that one a 6. Okay, so normally that works out right if I put this as a 1, but I want to find out what doesn't work. I'm trying to get my brain to find the error in it. So let me do that the other way around. So if I make this a 9, okay, so if that's a 9, then that's a 6 and that's a 1. If that's a 9, that's a 6 and that's a 9. That's a 9 and a 6, that's a 1. That's a 9, that's a 6. If that's a 9, then this is a 1. And that's a 6. And that's a 9. That's a 9. That is a 6. That's a 9. And that's a... No way. I don't believe it. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. So I cannot have this as a 9. Okay, if this is a 9, then this becomes a 1. This is a 6 and this is a 9, right? So if this is a 9, now if this is a 9, that makes this a 6 and a 1. If this is a 9, this is a 6 and this is a 9. So these two cannot be 9s. How can I find that? See, I have to write it when it comes to these hards and very hards. But if this is a 9, that makes this a 9 and makes this a 9. There's an odd rectangle in these hards and very hards at this very ending spot. I'm still working on training my brain to try and catch it. So if this is a 9, then this is a 1. This is a 6. That makes this a 9. If this is a 9, this is a 6. This is a 9. So these two cannot be 9s. There's got to be an easier way for me to sort that out. Maybe I'm not looking at the right one. Maybe it's like this rectangle. If this is a 1 and this is a 6, that makes this a 9. If that's a 1, that's a 9. And see, there's just a little bit more than my brain can handle. But this one has to be a 1. That makes this a 9. That makes that a 6. That makes that a 1. That makes this a 6. Makes this a 9. Makes this a 6. Makes that a 9. Makes that a 6. Makes that a 9. Makes that a 6, and we have our 1 and our 6 here, so that makes that a 9, and the only number we're missing there is our 1, and then we have a 9 and a 6, so we swap it, 9 and a 6, and there you have it, folks. Very hard puzzle. We used a double lock feature, double elimination. We used ghost rows and that crisscross pattern. I've had some previous games that shows that crisscross elimination better than this particular one. And then it's getting to that very end. I've heard it called a rectangle. And I'm still trying to figure out that one last part. Sometimes I'll catch it. Sometimes I don't. So I'm watching other players. I'm getting better at it. But I'm still having a hard time catching it. But I do enjoy it. I always recommend folks to print this off before I get going and play along with. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave comments, suggestions, or challenges. I welcome them all. Thanks, folks. We'll catch you next time.